Being gay is not a sin. God is nowhere outside of my experience, and there's literally nothing that can separate me from God. And I learned that lesson through my queerness. Hello friends, it's Phoenix, your faithful fire starter, and I wanted to share a little bit about my faith and why this channel exists. This channel exists because of spiritual violence, is what I would call it. I got saved when I was 13, and then a year later I had my first girlfriend. And after I had that girlfriend, my mom called and she asked where she went wrong in raising me and said that she thought she taught me better. So that's when I learned that my queerness was a moral failure. Something was wrong, right? And then after that, she sent me to my grandma's house for grandma to intervene. And so I sat here in this kitchen, 14 or 15 at the time, and listened to my mama read what they now call the clobber passages. Leviticus, she read Timothy, Romans, and then we sat here and we prayed. She anointed my head with oil, and then we prayed for, or were rebuking the demon of homosexuality from me. So age 14, 15, I think I'm possessed by a demon. No big deal. No, it really is a big deal, actually. It's a big deal. And whether or not it was demonic possession or like you're being told that you're going to hell, all that is spiritual violence. And so it continued like for a long time, but this is the place where where my faith and my queerness really clashed and collided. So it feels very important to be able to sit here and say, I am a 30-year-old Black queer femme who is still full of faith. It just looks a lot different now, and I wanted to at least just proclaim that part here. What I wrote was, I'm recording today as an answered prayer, and not the prayer for my gay exorcism, but there's this way that I was taught to pray where we say, not my will, but your will, God, be done. It's the will of God for me to know that God is nowhere outside of my experience. There's no identity, there's no action, there's literally nothing that can separate me from God. And I learned that lesson through my queerness, and I think for other people they may learn it other ways. I don't think it was God's will that I endured spiritual violence, but I do not believe that God ever left me. I think it was hard for me to see because of who I was around. I already know that I said I'm here as an answered prayer of God's will being done in my life. Me living in my truth, not hating myself, not hiding from myself, not hiding from God, not hiding from community. Like, those are all the good things that came from me owning my queerness and like living fully as myself. Being gay is not a sin. But a lot of people are taught that queerness is simple, queerness and transness is simple. And that is simply untrue. Black queer kids, queer and trans kids wanting to live in their truth, and then the resistance that their parents or caregivers feel in the way that they're not able to accept them, that's sinful. I think that that's the work of the enemy. That's the work of killing, stealing, destroying family ties, familiar relationships, the things that have the highest potential to save queer and trans kids' lives. That's sin. Yeah. Okay, bye. Later, friends.